Greetings, Mr. Rogues here with yet another video. This time we're gonna talk about super obscure Batman villain, King Kraken. King Kraken appeared during the Grant Morrison run on Batman. He was first very briefly mentioned in Batman 669, published in 2007. There he's simply described as a disfigured deep-sea diver turned pirate and an enemy of Wingman, a member of the Batman of all nations. The Swedish Batman, yes, which also makes, I guess, King Kraken Swedish. Nej men vad gött. King Kraken then made his first actual physical appearance in Batman 676, published in 2008. Here we get to see that he is a very big, hulking man dressed in a pretty creepy orange deep-sea diving suit. He appears as a member of the Club of Villains, a group led by Dr. Simon Hurt. Kraken, alongside the other members of the Club of Villains, are part of Simon Hurt's plan to destroy Batman. And yeah, that's about it. He appears for about 4 issues and kinda just stands in the background, doesn't really say anything. He has a few lines, including one where he claims that henchmen are for wussies. And that's pretty much all character exploration we get of him. He doesn't like henchmen. And yeah, that's all we ever saw of King Kraken. He was just basically a goon for Dr. Simon Hurt. He also made a tiny cameo appearance in an episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold. What Batman villain didn't? Now, why do I care about King Kraken enough to make an actual video on him? Is it because he's Swedish, like me? Well, actually, no, it's not. King Kraken actually has a bit of a cult following on my Discord server, mainly due to one member. A member I've mentioned before, Pufferfish. He created a few of my tiers that I made. He is a big King Kraken fan, and he's kinda made other members, including myself, sorta interested in the character. He's actually written about King Kraken, created fanfics, and actually fleshed them out quite a lot. He's created an actual character out of this non-character from the comics, and his works have made me realize the enormous potential King Kraken has. I actually think that Kraken has the potential to become a recurring Batman villain if you just do something with him, flesh him out. And to prove this, I'm gonna read some of Pufferfish's works on the character. I'm gonna read a short biography Puffer has written on his version of King Kraken. And do keep in mind that all of this, pretty much all of it, is created and conceived by Pufferfish. This is not from the comics, it's not written by Grant Morrison, and it's certainly not written by me. All of this credit goes to Pufferfish. First of all, Puffer actually gave him a name, David Jones, a real identity, which he doesn't have in the comics. So I'm gonna narrate Pufferfish's short biography on King Kraken now. He grew up very poor on the outskirts of Gotham City. The only family he had was his father, who was a fisherman. So David was often left to his own when his father went out to the sea. Every time his father came back from a fishing trip, he gave his son a piece of flotsam that got caught in the nets. He always told him, what the sea takes belongs to the sea, but what it gives belongs to you. David developed a deep fascination with the sea and spent most of his free time at the beach. When he was a teenager, his father went on a fishing trip from which he never returned. The authorities contacted him and told him that his father's boat had seemingly sunk at high sea. David's fascination with the sea only strengthened because of that, because somewhere deep down he hoped that one day the sea would somehow give him his father back. David studied nautical engineering, and in order to finance his studies, he worked as a wreck diver for an insurance company. One day on one of his diving trips, he found his father's old fishing boat. The boat showed all the signs of being sunk intentionally. He pieced together that his father faked his own death in order to start a new life somewhere far away with the insurance money. This devastated him, and he swore to never trust anyone ever again. No one but the sea, as the sea had never betrayed him. On another diving trip, he found the wreck of an old oil tanker with enough air pockets in it to set up base. He now lived down there in self-imposed exile, and lived from whatever the sea chose to give him. With time, he started to see the sea as his domain. He attacked ships that crossed into the Gotham Bay area as he thought they were another gift from the sea for him. But his ambition did not stop at attacking and sinking ships. He plans to flood Gotham City, because if the city was claimed by the sea, it would then finally be his, and all the people had no choice but to be with him. No one would ever leave him again. Yeah, that's pretty much Pufferfish's concept for the King Kraken character. Simply brilliant in my opinion. He took this complete blank of a background character and created all of this from it. Very impressive indeed. And it just shows the potential King Kraken has. I just love this concept that Puffer came up with a character. This mentally disturbed guy in a creepy deep sea diving outfit who haunts the Gotham Harbor. That's a great idea in my opinion. A villain who haunts the Gotham Harbor and sinks ships. We need that. We need that in Batman stories. I'd really love to see something like that in Batman stories. Batman needs a water-themed villain. A villain for the Gotham Bay, the Gotham Harbor area, who haunts that specific area and commits crimes there. We don't have that. Sure, we kinda have that with Orca, but I don't think Orca really fits. I think King Kraken fits the Batman Rogues Gallery a lot better. He's a mentally disturbed freak, he wears a costume, he just fits a lot more than Orca does. Yeah, I really think that this should become a thing. King Kraken should be a recurring villain and be something that resembles what Pufferfish came up with here. I'd love to see him as a recurring antagonist on a Batman TV show, a cartoon or live action, whatever. If I was in charge of a Batman show, I'd certainly do that. Let me know down in the comments what you think of King Kraken, and do you also agree that he has a lot of potential and could be a recurring Batman villain? And do you also feel that we need a villain for the Gotham Harbor area, a water-themed Batman villain? Do you also agree that King Kraken fits better than Orca? And of course, well, Grant Morrison created the character. All credit for this fleshed out version of King Kraken goes to Pufferfish. And as always, remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.